Well, hello and welcome to the News Channel Nebraska Coaches Show studio as we are live for football season action. Joining us for this first segment is Craig Williams with the Columbus Discoverers. Grant Otten will be normally on set with us. He'll be joining us next week, a Discoverer himself. But Craig Williams with the Discoverers for the head coach. How are you doing? As this is groundbreaking stuff right here. We're live right now.
Well, yeah, this is exciting. I'm happy to be the first one on, and let's get this thing done.
All right, jumping right into things, we got the nice helmet on the set. Now it's looking new. It's different than last year where you have the traditional C. Walk us through what this helmet's looking like as the Discoverers enter this 2016 season.
Well, the kids wanted to make a little change in the off-season, and a few years ago when we went with the big C on the side of the helmet, we decided to we had two choices. We were going to go with an Alabama-style looking helmet or with that C. We went with the C. So kids came back and wanted to do something like this, and we decided to spice the C up a little bit and outline it, trim it in black, and put a couple stripes down the middle. And I think it turned out really well, and the kids love it.
All right, well, we'll jump right into week number one. So this was a season where you're returning a lot of guys with a lot of experience from last year when they were younger. Now they're a little bit bigger, a little bit faster, and a little bit stronger, and you guys are back in Class B, and you started things off with the Waverly Vikings here at home, and it was a close game. You actually took a lead in it. You just missed it by 3 points or so, but a lot of positives coming from this opening contest.
Well, there's a lot of positives and negatives, but on the positive side of things, we really dominated that football game physically. Our kids know that, and we truly feel like that we let one slip away from us, and they know that the mistakes that were made were things that we have to clean up ourselves, and that we can take care of. In the first quarter, Waverly ran 3 plays, and so we completely dominated that quarter, and then we let them get a few things going, and had the lead there late in the game, and unfortunately we put the ball on the ground twice in the last 5 minutes, something we hadn't done all game, and they took advantage of it and punched one in to take the lead with about a minute to go.
Well, looking at some of those positives, looking at your senior quarterback, Brabeck, 10 for 16, he threw for over 100 yards. Do you like what you saw from one of your veterans under center?
Yeah, Landon did a great job. Not only did he find some open targets, he ran the offense well, and he ran tough. Got some tough yards, looked like an extra running back out there, and the biggest thing is he came back from the mistake that he made early and throwing an interception and ended up having a nice game.
And talking about the running game, you had 50 carries between Brabeck and Colton Wolf, who had 31 of those, and he went for nearly 150 yards, something I'm thinking you're hoping you'd expect from your now senior entering this season.
Yeah, and we got a couple of powerful backs back there in Wyatt Olcott and Colton Wolf, and we utilized both of them. We're going to continue to do that. Probably going to get Wyatt a few more carries in this coming week. But those are both two kids that are big kids and really punish guys when they try to tackle them. And that's what we're going to continue to try to do and get both those guys out there on the field.
Talking about some of your receivers, there's a nice interception there by your defense, but you had 10 receptions. Jake Bonwell led the way with 49 yards. So you threw it 16 times. Is that about the number you're looking for when you're entering a football game?
Yeah, that would be perfect. The thing that we do need to work on, and it falls squarely on my shoulders, is mixing it up a little bit. We got when we started running that football and we started having some success, we just started pounding the ball, and we need to mix in the pass a little bit more to be more successful with it. We got to 16 with some throws there at the end of the football game, trying to get it downfield, but it's something we got to mix in the play action pass a little bit more. We got to mix in our short game and take advantage of some of those things when the defense starts stacking those guys in the box against us.
Well, on the other side of the football, the defensive end, I'm talking about the yardage disparage. You outgained them by quite a bit. You outplayed them on defense. Just a couple of things didn't go your way, but still, that's another positive you take away is the defense you have, which you told me you switched to a 4-2-5 formation. Yeah,
and it's been a big focus of ours in the offseason. We visited a couple schools here in the offseason, switched to a 4-2-5 from our 3-5 that we've been running the last couple of years. The biggest thing that you take, the one stat that really stands out defensively is that 18 carries for 16 yards. And, that would never have happened last year. Our kids have matured so much. Our coaching staff has done a great job of teaching this defense. And, we're really looking forward to seeing how far we can take it. We held a very, very good quarterback to about 140 yards passing, on Friday night. And anytime, now he ended up getting us there in the end, but, they did a great job all night. To hold that offense under 200 yards was outstanding, and they're going to face another test this week.
And normally when you enter a new scheme, sometimes you might say, well, there's that learning curve, or there might be a few mishaps or blown coverages, but it seems like they picked up on it pretty well. What do you attribute that to in game one? You have results like that.
Yeah, it's basically we made the change back in February. So going into the summer, we've had time on the practice field with our camps that we've been to, and when we brought Midland in and to work with our kids, we had our pads on a little bit with Midland running the camp, and so we've had some work with it this summer. So our kids have bought into the change. Our personnel fits the change, and I think that's the biggest thing. That they understand what they're supposed to do out there. They've really bought into it, and they're a year older than they were last year. So their football IQ is a little bit higher, and it was easier to make that switch in the off season.
I'm just looking at some of this defensive stats here. 6 tackles for a loss, 4 of which came from senior Colton Wolf. Just had a great game on both sides of the ball. Is this a defense where you're attacking and blitzing, or is it more of a read and react? How are you approaching it?
Well, we need our linebackers to read the play and get downhill, and they did a great job with that. The biggest thing that we have is we got some defensive ends out there that can really cause some havoc in the pass game by getting upfield and make some plays in the run game. Our backup defensive end, Andrew Allstat, came in and had 2 sacks, and we had 2 other kids with a couple sacks, and all of them were defensive ends. So those are kids that that was one of the reasons we made this change, is we thought we had 3 or 4 true defensive ends to put out there, and that's what we're doing. We're letting them go out and play that position.
All right, Coach. Well, a little over a minute left to go. The time goes quickly, but you got Bennington on the schedule. They're coming off a loss as well, but they were a top 10 team to start the season. What's sort of the scouting report as you prepare for them?
Well, they got a big, tall, lanky quarterback. They got an offense that's the old wing tee, and guys are coming from all over the place and going in motion all over the place. Their fullback is big and strong. So our defense is going to be challenged. They've got to play assignment football this week. They've got to be disciplined. They got to stay home, and they got to make tackles when they have a chance to make tackles. If they do that, I think our offense is going to bounce back and put up more than 14 points. They're taking that as a challenge this week. And we just got to go be physical. And we were very, very physical on Friday night, more than we have been the last couple of years. And we got to bring that type of physicality to Bennington on Friday night.
All right. Well, wrapping this one up, you're back in Class B. How do you feel that that's going? I mean, you're only 1 game in and you're used to going back and forth, but you feel like this is a better fit for the Discoverers, or would you rather be in Class A?
Well, to be honest with you, we just want to play, and we just want them to leave us alone, stop moving us up and down, and give us a chance to get to know some teams and some coaches, and so we can kind of find a home. So hopefully the moving up and down is done, and we'll see how it goes from here.
All right, Coach Williams, we'll appreciate you stopping in for our first ever live coaches show here on News Channel Nebraska. Columbus Discoverers getting ready to take on Bennington this Friday. We'll be having all the news and the recap of the contest, wishing them the best to get that first win of the season. I'm Brandon Axmit. Stay with us because head coach Kurt Frenzen of the Lakeview Vikings is stopping in next here on the Coaches Show.
Transform your house into a home you've always wanted with the help of the team from CK Kitchen and Bath. They're committed to updating your space, and they have the tools for you to view your renovation before they start. They offer cabinetry, countertops, onyx, and more to give you brilliant home renovations. Whether you're looking to update the place where your family gathers or want a luxurious, relaxing space, they're here to help. CK Kitchen and Bath, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary.
Hi, I'm Dee Hansen. I'm the Marketing Director, and we would like to introduce you to Bank of the Valley.
Community-minded, family-centered, measurable relationships. When it comes to your business, agriculture, and personal banking needs, trust Bank of the Valley.
We're obviously a locally owned bank, but we're also a bank that's very involved.
The most important thing is when you walk in the front door, everybody knows your first name. We are small town banking with all the modern conveniences.
Bank of the Valley in Bellwood, David City, Platte Center, Columbus, and their new location in Humphrey.
At Home 360, they invite you to experience the difference by thinking outside the box when it comes to every aspect of flooring your home. Home 360 will help you transform your home with a huge selection of the area's most popular products and a design team that stays on top of the latest trends and the most classic finishes. Give Home 360 a call today. Home 360 located at 2409 14th Street in downtown Columbus. If you can dream it, we can do it.
And welcome back to News Channel Nebraska. We are live for the Coaches Show for segment number 2 as Kurt Frenzen joins us of the Lakeview Vikings. Kurt, this is now year 3 of the show, and you're back again. It's glad to have you. How are you doing?
We're doing great. We got our year started off the right way. It was our first season and opening win since 2011. Our kids came out and played really well during the whole course of the game, and we put close to 4 quarters together. And so it was an exciting way to kick off the year, and hopefully we have a lot of that to follow as well.
And 30-14 was the score against Milford Dorchester. Now, I don't want to ask you, was this a surprising result, but you hadn't won your opening game since 2011, and talking to you preseason, there was a lot of question marks coming in for this team, but they obviously rose to the occasion in week 1.
Yeah, we graduated about 95% of our offense or so from last year, so it was one of those things where once we got going into the game, I kind of got a comfort calling plays, and it seemed like the kids got some comfort running plays as well. The one thing I liked about it is I thought we responded really well just to a couple things early adversity-wise. As far as being a surprise, I wouldn't say it was really a surprise. We felt like we had capable kids coming back this year. It was just a matter of them getting back, and our experienced players kind of getting back and getting after a little bit, and then the younger players getting in and getting some things done. But I thought, overall, our prep was really good leading up to that game. And you know the deal, if you prepare well, chances are you're going to play well. And I thought they had a really good focus and did a great job of preparing for that game, and they were rewarded with a nice win.
And 20-7 was the score at halftime. Walk us to how you guys got that lead going into the break after 2 quarters.
Well, it was pretty back and forth defensive battle, to be honest with you, to start the game. We had put some drives together, and we held them to a lot of 3 and outs. So we were feeling really good about where our defense was. We'd had a couple miscues on offense, and kind of held us out of the end zone. We were able to shake Nick Dolezal loose on a hitch route. He broke an arm tackle and took it in from probably 40 or 50 out. I can't remember exactly what the distance was, but and did a really good job of, like I said, breaking that arm tackle and getting some yards after the catch. Our next score came just on a nice counter play to Jordan Jansen. Our line did an excellent job blocking. Jacob Frenzen was the lead back on that. He led up through and did a nice job, and we were able to shake Jordan loose, and it was just a great way to extend the lead a little bit. And then to round out our scoring in the first half, we were able to hit Nick Dolezal on a double move on the outside, and he got a second touchdown, around a 50-yard touchdown pass or so. And he did a nice job. Jaden threw it outside numbers, did a really good job. We got one-on-one, got the matchup we liked. And Nick did the rest, caught it, ran it in. And so we were feeling really good at that point in time, 20-0. I didn't think the kids really were losing focus or anything. I thought we were in a good frame of mind. Unfortunately, we kicked off them, and they nearly housed the ensuing kickoff. So they got down there. We held them to a 4th down. Almost had a goal line stand, and their kid made a heck of an effort play and got the ball across the goal line, and that made the game 20-7 going in at halftime. So all in all, it was a good half, but we were a little disappointed on how we ended the half, and we were interested in how to see our kids were going to respond, because at that point in time, Milford did have some momentum.
Well, they certainly did, not only on the offensive end, but you gave up 7 in the second half, but you put up 10 more to win by 16 as a total. New quarterback under center in Jaden Johnson, if I'm correct. How did you feel he played, replacing Dylan Johnson from last year?
Yeah, Dylan's his brother, so there was a lot of playing catch in the backyard over the last few years, and he did a great job. We felt really good about our quarterback competition going in. Cage Jansen and Jaden had an unbelievable competition going in, and quite honest with you, it was really close on who was going to start right up until game, and we named Jaden our starter, and he did come in and do a very good job. He didn't just wasn't a game manager. We called on him to make plays, and he did that, but he didn't do it outside of what we needed him to do. He didn't try to do too much. So I was really pleased with his first effort out of the gate. In the second half, I thought we locked in and played good football. Jacob Frenzen had a nice night rushing the ball for us, and a lot of those yards came in the second half. He had a nice touchdown run and almost broke another one loose. And then Nick Dolezal finished out our scoring, hitting a field goal in the 4th quarter to kind of put the final nail in the coffin. And we're disappointed in the 14 points that we gave up. But our defense, that wasn't necessarily on them so much as it was. We had the special teams miscue, and then they had a scoop and score that they took in. So that was their 14 points that they had. And to out-yard a team almost 400 yards to 114 yards was a great night to start off. And we have a lot of respect for Milford. They're a team that's won a couple state championships over the years, and Coach Hinks has got almost 250 wins. So he's done a great job in his tenure, obviously, at Milford. And to get a win over an established program like that out of the gate, a program that's been 6-3 over the last couple of years and playoff appearances, you got to feel good about where we started the year. Now we just need to build on that and keep moving forward in a positive way.
Well, another positive note, Jacob Frenzen, stat line officially, 157 on 17 carries. I'm not a math major, but that's nearly 10 yards a tote. Was that something you're expecting from him game in, game out? Did he play above his level, below his level, or right where you expected?
Well, I think it's a good effort for the first night out, and it's going to be a kind of a wait and see. We did a really good job, I felt, personnel-wise, matching him and Jordan Jansen and Lane Egger, all rotating those three in, and actually Lucas Satcher will probably get a little bit of time this week too against Norfolk Catholic. So we feel like our running backs are we're actually deeper there than we might have thought going into the season. Hopefully we continue to have that depth. But all four of those guys, I feel like, bring something to the table. And Jacob had a great night that night. Jordan had a pretty good night as well with 80 yards rushing. We don't need the same guy necessarily getting those yards every week. We just need one or two of those guys getting that type of output. So whether it's Jacob, whether it's Lane, whether it's Jordan, or whether it's Lucas, really makes no difference to us. It's just who's kind of who's hot and who's running tough. We will keep getting them touches and kind of see who comes to the forefront each and every week.
And with that victory, you cracked the Omaha World Herald top 10 in Class C1. Now, I know what truly matters is the results on the field, but how are you feeling as a team? Are the players a little energized that they see themselves in the top 10 now in Class C1 on a state level?
To be honest with you, we really haven't talked about it too much. I don't think Norfolk Catholic cares too much that we're in the top 10. And to be quite honest with you, I've been doing this long enough that being ranked number 10 at the beginning of the season is not near as special as being ranked high at the end of the season. So we'll worry about the ratings in a couple months. Right now, we're just focused on improving and taking steps forward. We didn't talk about it with the kids, to be honest with you. I don't even know if they know. You know how it is. I don't know how many kids are reading the paper anymore. They're usually watching the Columbus News team, so this might have been the first chance they've had to hear about it. So, but we'll see. It's one of those things that it's nice to have the recognition, it really is, but unless you show up and play every week, every Friday, it doesn't amount to hill beans. So hopefully we can keep improving, like I said, and make sure we're proving some of those people right. You beat an established program like Milford out of the gate, you get noticed a little bit, and I think that's what happened.
All right, Coach, we're wrapping this one up. You got another established program in Norfolk Catholic. They made it to the state championship last year. They're one of the favorites. They did have a tough matchup against Bishop Neumann, but they're still ranked number 4, and they're a very good squad. How are you feeling heading into this matchup?
Well, our kids had a good week of practice. We're excited to get going. We go from Coach Hanks, who's won 250 games. We're going to be facing now Coach Beller, who's won 330-some games. And I'm sorry to say that I've, attributed to a lot of those victories over my 16 years at Lakeview. I'd like to see if we can't get one in the loss column for them this week. It's not going to be an easy task by any means, but I feel like we've had a great week of prep, and I feel like we're going to get off the bus and ready to go. It's just a matter of going out. We're going to have to play 4 quarters, can't have any letdowns during the course of the game. If we do that, the last couple times we played them, they've been heck of ball games. 2012 and 13, it went down to the wire. In 2013, it went down to the very last play and actually had a chance to win it inside of 30 seconds. And so hopefully that'll be the same type of game that we see Friday night. And like I said, we just got to get off the bus, ready to roll, and I think we'll have a chance making it a special night.
All right, Coach. Well, wishing you the best of luck as you head up to Norfolk. The Lakeview Vikings taking on number 4 Norfolk Catholic, looking to improve to 2-0 on the young season. I'm Brandon Axman. He's Kurt Frenzen. Stay with us here on the Live Coaches Show as we'll be hearing from SCOTUS head coach Tyler Linder to wrap this one up.
Selling your car can be frustrating. Most people go online to estimate what their car is worth. What a range they give you though. Then you list it online, in the paper, put a sign in the window, and then wait and wait and wait. But there's an easier way. At Ernst Toyota, you can trade or sell your vehicle with no obligation to buy. Just give us a call. We pay you, and we pay today.
Hi, I'm John Ernst from Ernst Toyota in Columbus, and we're dedicated to earning your business every day.
And welcome back to our third segment here on the Coaches Show. Head coach Tyler Linder of the defending C-Champs Scotia Shamrocks with us after a Week 1 victory. How are you doing, Mr. Linder?
Very good, very good. Happy to be here.
We're glad you're here. Let's jump right in. So you had Wayne, Week 1. A lot of offense, actually. 37-20 something was the final score, but you guys came out on top.
Yeah, we started the game really well. I think our offense was clicking right away. We scored 21 straight points in that first quarter, and it looked like we were going to continue to roll in that direction. But much to Wayne's credit, they came back swinging and got 14 points on the board to kind of reduce the deficit, and went into halftime 28-14, and then they came out swinging with some great adjustments in the third quarter. So we had a nice ball game going into the fourth quarter the other night.
Now, was this sort of a surprise with Wayne? Not necessarily always a power, at least in recent times. Did they catch you by surprise, or are they a pretty good team this year that people need to look out for in C1?
No, they are a great team. They brought a lot of guys back. I was very impressed with their skill guys, and their line is big. So we knew that we were going to have a challenge, and our kids came out, started the game hot, but I think we kind of went on a little bit of cruise control mode, and Wayne did some very nice things schematically with their offense to attack our defense. A lot of things that Norfolk Catholic did in the state championship game against us that caused us some problems. They did as well. So they were very well coached. We were just fortunate enough to kind of regain our composure and have a great fourth quarter.
And of course, the big storyline for you guys coming into this season was last year C1 champs and 20-some seniors gone. A lot of new faces stepping into prominent roles. Some other juniors that got a lot of playing time came in. But how did you feel the new guys came in and played against the first game in Wayne? You had a freshman quarterback in Tyler Palmer, as well as some other guys like Strecker filling the roles of Boss and Dodson that was left at fullback, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, that's last year, but I think our guys have stepped up, tremendously. I don't like to even listen to people when they say like, well, you're going to have a huge drop off. We don't see it that way. Our guys are very talented and very capable guys, and they showed it, on Friday night. So there are some things to work out, but that is every team in Week 1. We weren't the sharpest, tool in the shed on Friday night. So we have to clean some things up the rest of the week in order to get ready for Bishop Neumann.
And Evan Shohan stepping in the tight end role. Dalton Taylor, your receivers. 2 huge targets in the passing game was something that was working well, especially early on with a freshman quarterback, no less, slinging it.
Yeah, I think our passing game is taking a step in the right direction. Coach Pellon is our offensive coordinator and calls great games all the time, and so it was a point of emphasis in the offseason to really enhance that passing game. And you go from having what was it? We only had 1 passing yard in the state championship game last year to having 150 in Week 1. So that tells you, the importance that Coach Pellon, put on it in the offseason, and it showed on Friday.
I don't want to harp on this too much, the freshman quarterback, but did that exceed expectations with a ninth grader coming in, or were you expecting him to throw for over 100 yards, with those 2 big targets?
Yeah, well, Tyler Palmer's a dynamic, kid, and he had a tough quarterback battle all summer long, and so they, all those guys at the quarterback spot pushed one another to be, the best version of themselves, and so, Tyler Palmer came out, started on the Friday Night Lights, his first start ever as a varsity quarterback as a freshman. That's a feat that doesn't happen too often, and he performed well. Especially in that first quarter, he threw some very nice balls to Dalton Taylor and the like, and so we were pleased with his first performance. But it's one of the things that we say all the time, not just about TP and our kids, but it's about our program. We're happy, but we're never satisfied. So we always want to encourage our guys and our team to be better each and every day, and that's something that we're working at right now.
And looking on the other side of the ball, defensively, you have what most would say a much bigger test this coming up week with Bishop Neumann as compared to Wayne. You said some schematic things that needed to be worked on. How do you feel your defense is at? the athletic defense, the defense you like to blitz and do after week 1 heading into this big game coming up?
Yeah, again, there's lots of things to polish up. I think we had a lot of question marks going into week 1 defensively. We didn't know exactly who was going to play exactly where yet. It's hard to gauge exactly who's your best linebacker when you're not going up against, varsity opponents in practice. We're going against younger guys in practice, so it's kind of hard to see, the errors in our ways. So we played a lot of different guys last Friday night just to see who would be, potential candidates for a starting role. And I think we've answered quite a few of those questions. We had a lot of guys step up and play, extremely well. So we're a young defense. We're learning, we're growing, and I promise you that we'll be a much different, defensive football team, in weeks 6, 7, and 8 of the season than, compared to week 1.
And some of those names, Strecker, Shohan, Halligan, some names that were on the defense last year, but who are those guys that are stepping up into the roles on the defensive end?
You hit quite a few of those guys. I think our big leader on defense is Evan Shohan. He's our was our leading tackler last year, returning at that strong side inside linebacker for us. He just does a phenomenal job. But the guys in front of him on the defensive line are the guys that are kind of our strength. We return almost every single one of our defensive linemen. Mitchell Halligan is a great explosive talent there. We've got Duncan Pachaza, Brandon Wynn, Wyatt Gutzmer. So our defensive line is going to be a real strength for us. But we've had some upperclassmen step up, a few juniors and seniors that are going to fill some great roles. Matt Strecker is a returning starter from the state championship team, and he's doing great. I like Will Sonderman, who's a senior. He'll be starting at our Mike backer for us. Kyle Kobza can hit like a dump truck. He's a phenomenal guy. And then to kind of spill those guys a little bit, we've got some young guys like Eric Mustard came in and played well the other night, and so we're excited about the opportunity with our defense.
Well, they're going to be tested, no doubt, this coming Friday. Arguably one of the biggest games in the state, biggest game in C1 by far. It's 1 versus 2. So how are you guys feeling as you approach this game against Newman, a team with Vedral, who's a Nebraska commit, and a lot of star players on that team?
Yeah, we're excited for the opportunity to play a very quality opponent. We've been playing Bishop Newman the last several years. We've been fortunate enough to come out on top, and they return a ton of guys. Their skill set, especially with Vedral at the quarterback, and they've got some dynamic receivers out on the edge. So we're going to have to play, mistake-free football. We're going to have to play inspired defense, and we're going to have to get, take our breaks when we can in the kicking game. So very excited for the opportunity. It's gonna be a great atmosphere. It's already starting to feel as if it's a quarterfinal or semifinal type of atmosphere. This is a big game with 2 really good football programs going toe to toe. I'm just really happy that we get to wear green and play in Columbus this week.
Are no stranger to big games in terms of last year in the playoffs. So you're used to approaching them, but how do you attack this game, especially with a freshman quarterback, or how are your players psyche-wise as the practice is getting closer to the game Friday?
I personally try not to get too over-amped up for any one particular game. I think, in all honesty, the state championship game last year, I was nervous and excited, but I think I may have been a little bit more calm for that one because I knew that was going to be our last game regardless, win or lose. So kind of our mentality, at least from our coaching staff's perspective, is business as usual. We know what we need to do to be successful and to win football games, and to go outside of that is not, where our strengths are. Our best football team and our best games are going to be played when we are in control of ourselves. And we're taking care of our business, doing our thing, and making opponents adjust to us. So, that's kind of been our focus all week, is let's perfect us, and all the other things will fall in place.
Well, Coach, I'm excited. A lot of people here are excited all around town. I'm sure you are as well. Wishing you the best of luck as you take on top-ranked Bishop Newman. We'll be broadcasting that one live, so hopefully it's for a win.
Yeah, it'll be a great atmosphere. So encourage people to come out and support the Rocks as we start our home opener on Friday night.
That's Coach Tyler Linder, the Scottish Shamrocks, #2 in Class C1, taking on top-ranked Bishop Newman Friday night. Wishing them the best of luck, as well as the rest of the Columbus High Schools, Lakeview and Columbus High, as we wrap up this week's edition of the Coaches Show. Be sure to tune in on Wednesday next week at 7 p.m. We'll be recapping the games on Friday and looking forward to the Week 3 contests as well. I'm Brandon Axevitz signing off for our Coaches Show.